This man turned Lululemon into a billion-dollar empire with yoga pants. But his story isn't just about stretchy fabric, it's about risk, rejection, and revolutionizing fashion forever. From digging oil pipelines in Alaska to battling a rare disease, Chip Wilson's life is wildly unexpected. So how did a rebellious swimmer create Lululemon and change the world? Let's find out. Chip Wilson is more than just the founder of Lululemon Athletica. He is a pioneer whose work transformed not only an industry, but a cultural mindset. Through his vision, yoga-inspired athletic wear evolved into an everyday lifestyle, creating a category now known as athleisure. His life, marked by entrepreneurial successes, personal challenges, and an unapologetic approach to innovation, provides insight into how one man's instincts reshaped fashion and fitness forever. But Wilson's story is more than just Lululemon. It is about relentless self-improvement, risk-taking, and giving back to the world in profound ways. Dennis Chip Wilson was born on April 25, 1955, in Los Angeles, California, before moving to Calgary, Alberta, at age 5. From a young age, Wilson's life revolved around sports and activity, a passion encouraged by his parents, both of whom were athletes. His father, a physical education teacher, and his mother, a skilled seamstress, played pivotal roles in shaping his approach to life. His father instilled discipline through sports, while his mother's love for sewing introduced Wilson to the art of garment making, a seemingly minor influence that would turn out to be pivotal later in life. As a child, Wilson excelled in swimming, a sport that gave him structure and discipline. "Swimming was where I first learned that hard work leads to results," Wilson has often said. He credited his involvement in competitive swimming for teaching him to set goals, practice resilience, and focus on incremental improvement, traits that would become the cornerstone of his entrepreneurial journey. However, it wasn't all smooth sailing. At the age of 12, his parents divorced, and the family dynamics shifted dramatically. By the time he graduated high school, Wilson was ready to break out on his own. At 18, he took an unusual job working on the Alaskan oil pipeline, a move that helped him earn significant savings and gave him ample time to read. Wilson consumed classic literature and business books, training his mind much in the same way that he had trained his body. This self-education laid the intellectual foundation for his future endeavors. With a bachelor's degree in economics from the University of Calgary in 1980, Wilson's path seemed clear. Yet it wasn't a traditional corporate job that he was after. He craved independence and control over his future, which led him to start his first venture in the world of sports apparel. In 1979, Chip Wilson founded Westbeach Snowboard Limited, a brand focused on surf, skate, and snowboard apparel. He started Westbeach in Vancouver, a location chosen for its proximity to Whistler's vibrant ski and snowboard culture. At the time, snowboarding was still a fledgling sport, but Wilson saw potential in the market for functional, stylish gear that athletes could wear both on the slopes and in everyday life. Westbeach wasn't just about clothing. It was about tapping into the culture of youth rebellion and freedom that snowboarding represented. Under Wilson's leadership, Westbeach grew into a successful brand, known for its technical, high-quality products. However, Wilson quickly learned that being an entrepreneur meant more than just creating a product. It required understanding markets, trends, and timing. By the mid-90s, the snowboard market had become saturated. Recognizing this, Wilson made the strategic decision to sell Westbeach in 1997, giving him the financial freedom and the time to consider his next move. Little did he know, that move would change not only his life, but the entire landscape of athletic apparel. In the late 1990s, yoga was emerging as a popular fitness trend in North America. Wilson, having recently started practicing yoga himself, noticed something crucial. There was a lack of specialized apparel for yoga practitioners. At the time, most people were wearing loose-fitting cotton clothing to yoga classes. It wasn't designed for performance, nor did it cater to the growing number of women practicing yoga. Wilson envisioned something different, clothing that was functional, flattering, and most importantly, stylish enough to wear outside the studio. With this in mind, Wilson founded Lululemon Athletica in 1998. The company's first standalone store opened in Vancouver in 2000. Wilson's approach was to combine technical athletic fabrics with sleek, minimalist design, a concept that hadn't been fully realized in the fitness world. Lululemon's core product, yoga pants made from a proprietary blend of stretch fabrics, quickly gained a devoted following. In interviews, Wilson often shared how Lululemon's success was built on the simple idea of giving people what they didn't even know they needed. The introduction of performance-oriented, fashion-forward athletic apparel coincided perfectly with the rise of fitness culture in the early 2000s. But the secret to Lululemon's meteoric rise wasn't just the product. It was the brand's philosophy, deeply rooted in Wilson's personal beliefs about wellness, goal setting, and community. Wilson famously integrated personal development programs, such as Landmark Forum, into the company culture. Employees were encouraged to pursue self-improvement and leadership training, reflecting Wilson's own journey of constant personal growth. This approach fostered an authentic connection between the brand and its customers. The company's focus on health, wellness, and mindfulness resonated deeply, turning Lululemon into a cultural phenomenon. At the heart of Lululemon's success is a single, powerful concept: athleisure. Wilson saw an opportunity to blend high-performance athletic wear with everyday fashion, creating clothing that could transition seamlessly from the yoga studio to the coffee shop. This was a departure from the traditional model of athletic wear, which was often purely functional and used exclusively for working out. Wilson's instinct to bet on athleisure was bolstered by his experience with Westbeach, where he had seen how snowboard apparel could transcend the slopes and become streetwear. Athleisure followed the same pattern, except this time, it wasn't just about niche sports. It was about redefining how people dressed, blurring the lines between athletic wear and casual fashion. In 2007, Lululemon went public, raising $327.6 million and establishing itself as a major player in the global fashion industry. By 2014, athleisure had become a $400 billion industry, with competitors like Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour rushing to catch up. Yet Lululemon retained its market leadership, thanks to Wilson's ability to stay ahead of trends and continuously innovate. Wilson's success with Lululemon wasn't just about tapping into a new market, it was also about tapping into a new way of thinking. Much of Lululemon's brand identity came from Wilson's personal philosophies. He was deeply influenced by Ayn Rand's and Brian Tracy's, which preached self-reliance, entrepreneurial spirit, and the pursuit of individual greatness. These principles were reflected in Lululemon's early marketing and product strategy. Wilson often described his business model as giving without expectation of return, a philosophy that he said fostered goodwill among employees and customers alike. This wasn't about selling a product, it was about selling a lifestyle, one that promoted mindfulness, health, and personal excellence. To further cultivate this mindset, Wilson introduced a controversial but effective training program for employees that included teachings from Landmark Forum, a personal development course that emphasized accountability, goal setting, and leadership. This unorthodox approach paid off, creating a distinct company culture where employees were not just selling clothing, they were ambassadors for a way of life. Despite Lululemon's success, Wilson's career has not been without its missteps. In 2013, he faced backlash after making comments suggesting that Lululemon's yoga pants didn't work for certain body types, implying that women's bodies were to blame for issues with the product. The remark caused a media firestorm, and Wilson eventually stepped down as chairman of Lululemon later that year. While the incident was damaging to his public image, it didn't tarnish the company's growth. Wilson has since apologized for the remarks, but the controversy highlights the complexities of maintaining a bold, visionary leadership style in the public eye. In 2016, Wilson took a more vocal stance against Lululemon's board, arguing that the company had lost its way and strayed from its original focus on innovation. His concerns were largely ignored, but the saga showcased Wilson's ongoing passion for the brand he had built, even after stepping away from its day-to-day operations. After stepping back from Lululemon, Wilson turned his attention to philanthropy, real estate, and other ventures. He and his wife, Shannon, co-founded a nonprofit dedicated to providing quality education to children in Ethiopia. Their ambitious goal, to ensure every Ethiopian child has access to education by 2030. Wilson also founded Low Tide Properties, a real estate investment firm, and House of Wilson, a holding company for his various business interests. Wilson's personal battle with facioscapulohumeral muscular dystrophy, a rare form of muscular dystrophy, has driven much of his philanthropic work in recent years. He has donated millions to research aimed at finding a cure for the disease, illustrating his belief in using his wealth for meaningful causes. Today, Wilson remains one of Canada's wealthiest individuals, with a net worth estimated in the billions. But wealth, for Wilson, has always been about more than money. It's about creating opportunities for others, living a life of purpose, and leaving a legacy that goes beyond financial success. Chip Wilson's story is one of innovation, resilience, and vision. From his early days swimming in Calgary to creating a global athleisure empire, Wilson's life has been defined by his ability to see trends before they happen and act on them fearlessly. His unorthodox business philosophies, combined with a relentless drive for personal improvement, have made him one of the most influential figures in the world of fashion and fitness. Even after stepping away from Lululemon, Wilson's impact continues to be felt through his philanthropic efforts, his investments in innovative businesses, and his ongoing commitment to living life on his own terms. His legacy is not just in the clothes people wear, but in the way they live their lives.